Hello, I'm Helen, Authentic Discovery. Welcome to another Speak Your Truth conversation with the lovely Lindsay. Thank you very much for joining us. Please like, subscribe, and all of that stuff, and share down below. But let's move swiftly on. And Lindsay, may I ask you to introduce yourself to everyone that's watching?
Hi, yeah, I'm Lindsay and I'm from Mommas Who Magic. And I'm so very glad to be here speaking my truth. So, hi.
So Lindsay, tell me about Mommas Who Magic.
So, Mommas Who Magic was birthed when I was going through a really, really bad time. I had like panic disorder, anxiety, and I just felt really, really stuck and really away from my magic. I felt kind of betrayed by the world in a way. Like, is this it? Is this all that there is for me as a mom, as a woman? And it was crawling out of that by myself because I didn't want to take medication, because I couldn't, because I was so scared. I started to research lots of things on the mind, neuroplasticity, and I just literally had this wave of my magic come back to me that I knew that I'd had throughout my whole life. And when I was younger, before being a mom and being a little bit more free, I, talked about all the time and I embodied in my everyday life. But then it was like it all came back to me, and that is when I started to teach other women how to do that, and all the different things that I'd learned, the places that I'd been to learn about ancient Egyptian magic and the chakras, all of the different beautiful things, the magical things we possess, and to teach moms how to do that and connect back with that. And then I went on to lots of business schools to teach women how to use this to create like businesses, to create empires and connections with other women, other mothers, to start channeling the money back into the hands of the moms, the women, the healers, because I think it's been for a long time in the hands of the people who haven't got the best interests at heart. Mm-hmm. So that was my mission, is to help women to set up these amazing, abundant businesses through all of these magical resources that we have inside, to start channeling the money back into the people who are going to help lead this new age, this new up-leveling consciousness. So that is my mission.
Wow, that is fabulous. I'm just going to, I'm not sure how this is going to record, but there's a delay between seeing you, your words are coming before the vision of you is coming, which is, I like the fact that words come before a vision, because words carry so much power, but it's a bit discombobulating when you're actually watching it. So I'm going to apologise. I'm not really sure why that's happening, but the internet, no doubt. So you spoke so...
Yeah, let me try and...
There were so many things in what you just said. Ancient Egyptian magic, magic from within, neuroplasticity. There was just such a phenomenal amount in what you said to create this vision and this purpose and this drive, even this whole new age thing that has got so many different names as well, ascensions and 5D and new world. Even the New World Order is another new name. Well, it's not a new name, but the new normal. I'm trying to put my penny's worth in and calling it a new wonderful, which is probably, so there's so many different terms. And I suppose that's where I'm going to bring me to now, this time that we're in right now. I don't, not only is there's all of this stuff happening with governments and global corporations and everything else, and some are seeing that as their last hanging on of power. So how do we bring, I suppose one of the questions that come into mind, and you may or may not have the answer, how do we bring your average everyday Joe Soap, and there are lots of people truly believing that the governments for a change have our best interests at heart, which is very unusual. How are you bringing people through? How is that working for you? What are you doing to attract, I suppose? How is that working? What magic are you using to attract?
So,
Are you finding it hard to
like
hear
with
me?
my business, yeah, a little bit.
Right, okay.
A little bit. I'm trying to move throughout the house to get the best connection. Trying to find that magical hotspot. This room might be a bit better. Yeah. So, like with my business, it was because 17 years ago, I found out a lot of the stuff that's being brought to light now. And it completely rocked me. And I knew that there was truth in it. My intuitive connection to the truth was like, this stuff is happening. To what extent?
Oh, Kirsty seems to have lost
Sorry.
the visual.
Oh, I'm back. See, I don't want me to say. Yeah. To what extent? Yeah, not 100% sure. You know, obviously we're not there doing these things. We're not in them cultural groups of the elites, but the evidence was overwhelming, and the knowledge that I'd accumulated from extensive research was just, you know, it was there. And so now that it's been brought up again now in the last few years, this is what I'm doing this stuff for. I really believe that we have to start exposing our hidden magic again, because I think it's been hidden under the names of religion and, you know, a societal discourse of truth about how we as humans should be interacting with each other. And I really believe that by channeling the money back into the hands of the people who are aware of this, that is the only way that well, not the only way, but it's a powerful tool in kind of reaching them at their level, because money is energy. And unfortunately, in this realm of existence that we're in, money, you know, there is lots of different aspects of money. It's based on a lot of admiral laws and money magic, you know, if people condense it down to those words. You know, river banks, cash flow, it's all, if you look, to do with money magic and energy of this flow. And it's been kind of navigated the channels of where the money is into the people who understand energy. And our energy as a frequency through media and through fear, news, all of those different things are being hijacked and have been hijacked for hundreds of years through the extension of so much media and internet. So I think by uncovering all of this magic and where it stemmed from, it's not seen as a regression. I think it's like a pullback into our roots, as an arrow and a bow, to propel us then to go into a new way, like you said, a new wonderful way of that connection and stuff like that. So that is what I'm doing, and that's how I'm kind of honing it. The government stuff, yeah, at the moment there's so much different information going on about what is actually happening and the purposes behind it, which can be quite frightening when you really go down the rabbit hole. It can go into, you know, I have to really step back sometimes and think, whoa, let's chill here for a second, because, you know, it can, if it was to that extent, I think it'd blow our minds, because, you know, it's not nice. There's not nice things. Just let some light in here. So yeah, I think having the conversations about it and being able to have these conversations about it are so important. But with the fact checking and the censorship, I think we're really struggling. Like you said, I say daddy, and I don't mean daddy is in a masculine, like men. I mean it as this authority figure who have put society underneath the elite as their children, and we always have to look up to daddy. We always have to ask daddy for the good, basically like the government, the elite, people above us in this systematic kind of hierarchy that they've built, for the answers all the time. And I think it's daddy's way of grasping on to whatever control they have left, because we are really breaking free of those bonds, those water bonds, as I teach it in my water magic things. They're water bonds to this karmic cycle. We have to keep coming back because we are trapped in this energetical field of what would be the best word, of bondage. It's bondage, karmic bondage, basically.
When
I think
water, the word that
definitely, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. When you spoke of water, just and sort of the energy, the flow, what came to mind was dams. It's almost like we're all caught in a lake, a man-made lake, a dam, and we've got to try and figure out our way, find out, we've got to release the sluices. Is that what they're called? To let the water flow out of the dam to where the peak, to where it's needed, as opposed to holding it together. That's what came to mind for me when you just spoke about what word is it. It was like, damn, we've got to release those things. I don't know much about water magic, but I'm a little bit, I know that, like, so as you say, current, the currency, the cash flow, it's all about that flow. The so where is it based?
Liquidation.
You've spoken about Egyptian magic, and so are they connected? Because to me they may be or they may not be, and I don't actually know. So is there a connection between this water maritime, I know you haven't used that word, but maritime thing that's happening, the flow, or are they not connected? Or most things are connected, but could you talk to us about that?
Wow. Well, yeah, as you said, most things are connected. We have this thread of energy that connects us.
Sorry, you're actually in sync with vision and sound.
Yeah, so that connection is always there. It's always connected to something. And well, of course, it goes back to very old teachings and understandings of this sacred, universal connection to source energy. And that's all that magic is. And it's been really, how can I say this?
Demonized.
Manipulated to be taught that magic is devil work. It's it's a sorceress is someone who practices black magic and she's a witch, a horrible witch. We need to reclaim the word witch as a healer, as someone who knows nature and universal laws, and that's where the Egyptian magic comes from. And there's so many different laws that obviously people higher up, I mean, you'll find there's lots of people who talk about Aleister Crowley in very high elite groups, very powerful elite groups. They wear their t-shirts, I mean, even in high government places, who are aware of this. So of course that knowledge is then used in today's world for their gains in controlling our energy and money, because they coincide, the energy and money. So the ancient Egyptian magic, what I personally veer towards more of a goddess kind of understanding, and goddess Isis, I mean, her name has even been really tarnished with the terrorist group and different things like that, you see, because it's always this reflection, it's always this manipulation of your perspective of how you're gonna see these magical kind of codes. And there's definitely a connection, because it's from an understanding of a universal source code, universal source energy, and they are very aware of this. And it is used to control money. It's used to control our energy. It's used to control what we think about ourselves. It's used to control, especially as women, and men also a lot. And nowadays they're being given that space to talk about it, that their feminine energy that they've lost along the way, to talk about how, they spend millions and millions of pounds on advertising to us that we're not enough and that we need things outside of ourselves that they will then turn up and sell, that we are not enough. So it's all this kind of energy system. But the energy system of water magic is a very, very, it just runs on energy, and like we have electrical currents in our waters, in our brain, they can use different things like media,
Oh,
What?
gone again.
Oh,
I
what?
can hear you.
Sorry. The internet.
You're back. I can hear you though, Kirst.
I'm back.
Lindsey, sorry.
So the
I don't know why I called you Kirsty.
So the currents are electrical currents. What a great way to kind of link onto them through TV, which has really high positive ions that connect with ours. Radio, it's in every single car that we step into. We are blasted with this propaganda. You know, it's everywhere we turn. We can't escape from it.
More
and
so
I think, you know, really embodying and teaching.
I was saying more so in the cities as well. Like you've got all of the electricity of the city and the Wi-Fi's and the new, you know, whatever frequencies they're throwing out. If they're asking permission for 5, they've already thrown out 6 as far as I'm concerned. You know, so all of that sort of stuff. But I do believe that they run on the adage of ask for forgiveness after rather than permission before. So, you know, and I'm not... I may be incorrect, but I'm connecting what you're talking about as well with all of these satellites that are going to be thrown around the Earth. So we're literally going to be in this falsified electromagnetic field, which is going to have serious repercussions on so many levels. But that, you know, that's what it is. I want to kind of go back. You told me some of your story that led to you creating Mommas Who Magic, but so you were inspired by your own unwell journey. Your own unwell journey took you to your well journey. That's just how I'm kind of putting it there. But what is there any? You know, where does your inspiration come from? What has inspired you? Was it just your own experience, or was there something else that inspired you?
So from a young girl, I have had this calling, and people use this a lot. What's your calling? You know, work for your calling and all of this stuff. And some people may or may not understand what that feels like. But to me, it was this feeling that I have to use my voice. I have to. And all the magical synchronicities of the world were just apparent all the time. And hang on one second, let me just put it onto a different Wi-Fi connection, because give me 1 second and we might be able to get it a bit better.
I'll take the opportunity to have a wee sip.
You done? Oh, sorry, you finished? No, sorry.
The wonders of the internet. I seem to be having... Hello? You've gone on mute, Lindsey. You're muted. You've muted. That's it.
Oh yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Oh. The internet,
It's
joys of this internet. But like with the internet, there's good and bad in everything, isn't there? Because without the internet, we wouldn't be able to have this visual conversation now. We wouldn't be able to research to the intensity, the knowledge that we can. You know, in everything in life, there is this dynamic balance of good and bad, and our perspective on what that means, good and bad. Yeah, it has often been misconstrued as, oh, one's the way that you should be and the other one's something that you should reject. And it's a very hard place to navigate through, you know, the shadow and the light sometimes. So I think that's a really important thing as well now, that people are being exposed to the understanding of what happens in the world and who they're being led by, you know, because none of us truly know people's agendas, because they are often manipulated by other people, and it's such a battleground of information that I think coming back to yourself and just knowing, you know, what kind of path that you want to take and you want to explore, instead of listening to what everyone else is like with the political thing that's going on. You know, we're not from the USA, we don't vote in America, we've got no right to do that, but I've seen so much of a personal sisterhood split up because of that, you know. And it's like, it's two wings of the same bird. Whatever the outcome, we're still going to be ascending. Yeah, you know, we're still going to be joining together. And I think it's just another distraction. There's so many distractions. And what is the biggest thing of a magician? It's the power of distraction, to distract your audience while you fiddle and do your little magic trick over here. And that is such a powerful tool.
Yeah,
you know,
illusion. For many years I've been saying that democracy that we have, the democracy that we have in the UK and here in Ireland, is an illusion. And in America, it's an illusion of choice. You can have this or that. That is not choice. That's offering you one or the other. That's not choice, because choice is so much more than just one or the other. I think what this time and how I've been kind of led to my conclusion for me of the world is, as I've been really, you know, because within scripture, like within the Bible, I think it says about fighting spiritual wickedness in high and low places. And a lot of people have been saying to me that, you know, this is a prophetic time. I don't doubt that for 1 second. But my raging call has been, no, we can all be saved. We can all be saved, because it's prophecy doesn't mean that it has to be like that. What prophecy is doing is, if you follow this path, this is the outcome. That's, to me, what a prophecy is. This is, if you do this, this and this, that's where it will end up. So I've been kind of going, it doesn't have to be like that. Let's wake everybody up. Let's get everybody to see what's really going on. And unfortunately, I've had to accept, and even as I'm saying it to you, it actually really makes me very sad to say that some people are just not, either they're not interested, they don't want to know. Some people aren't able to take on the information, but there's more that, for whatever reason, are not going to, and not, you know, they are going to go to the prophecy, they're going to the prophetic outcome. And they may, you know, there's a chance that they might drag us down, you know, like when the Titanic sank, they went, you've got to get far enough away so you're not fully talking of water, so that you're not going to be pulled down with the ship. And to kind of, I actually don't like the I'm all right Jack kind of people that, like, okay, I'm far enough away now, I don't care about anyone else. So I'm kind of in this, not vortex, I'm in that space where I think, where I could get pulled down, or I might be far enough away, but I'm so passionate, you know, I don't, and that's the other thing, because I'm kind of saying, like, I'm on this, let's wake up, let's, you know, this what's going on is not real, it's about something else. And, you know, I suppose you've been attacked as well. Oh, you want people to die, you want people to get ill. No, the exact opposite. It's the truth. It's the exact opposite. I'm aware that there is, and I don't like even using the terminology that we're in a war, because that puts a different kind of mindset and a different bodily reaction. But there are weapons of war being used, not traditional weapons of war, but there are weapons of war being used. So I just find it really, this time for me is quite challenging on many levels, So, you know, and when you spoke about having a calling, I kind of get that, although I think my calling speaks in a different language sometimes to understand. I just know there's something supposed to be going on. So, Lindsey, let us, I'm just curious, this is a question that I do ask, is there a moment in your life, whether it be around whatever that moment may be, and I know that you're a mom, and most mothers do go to that, having the child, because it's just, life changing. From the moment you hear you're pregnant, your whole world is different. But is there a moment in your life that you will never forget? Something that happened, just whether it be good, bad, indifferent. It doesn't have to be a bad moment. It could be quite something quite. But for you, is there a moment? And the first one that came to mind, possibly outside a child, to do with having a child.
Yeah. Well, if I've got to be honest, the thing that really is profound in my mind is, I mean, I've had a wonderful life. I've travelled to so many different places, you know, really amazing, outstanding, unbelievable experiences. But it was the darkest time of my life, obviously, you know, that these things really impregnate in our mind. And from going from someone who was completely, you know, fearless and, you know, just loved life and ran at it, you know, like a bull in a china shop, to going into this panic disorder, which left me literally for 3 years driving around a hospital in my city, thinking I was dying all day long. Like literally, it was the most overwhelming physical experience as well as mental. And the moment that I learned from this research that I cannot give up, I cannot take medication. I'm not saying that medication is bad. I just was too afraid to take it. From the moment that it clicked, and then I walked through it and began manifesting everything that I wanted, was like, it was the most unbelievable experience ever. It was like coming out of hell. It really was. And it was like, you know, they see the tunnel at the end of the light. It really was that experience. And it was like, I connected back to everything. And even now I struggle, and we have our down days of, that's life, and that flow is beautiful in all of its aspects. It's here to teach us things, but that I will never forget. And I can't quite still understand how it all happened. But I know it was there. As like, I literally blew my crown chakra. This feeling that I had where it first started pulsing, I'd done too much research. I was too burnt out. I was too in this, you know, linear kind of masculine, go, 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 go. And my crown chakra just said, no, girl, you can't stop. You know, and my body was there to tell me, no more now. And, you know, I thought I was dying every day for 3 years, and I'd go into the hospital and they'd be like, just take a seat. I was like, why has no one got the defibrillators? Why is no? And they're just like, you're all right. I'm like, no. You know, you really think that you're dying. It's a really horrible experience. That's why I started researching everything, and all of the things that we've talked about, we don't know the truth still.
Very true. Half the story.
We still don't know the truth. These are things that we've heard from, you know, social media sites who have their own agendas, who are on different wings of this bird. You know, we still don't know the absolute truth. We don't know who's good. We don't know who's coming from a not so good point of view. We still don't know. There's so much stuff that could be complete and utter fabricated truths. Do you know what I mean? And that's,
I think this is where the importance of I suppose it's the core teaching. I've heard you say while we've been talking, it's my core teaching, and it's the core teaching of most people is here, go in here, get in here. And this is what you need to be guided by, this inner guidance, this inner light, this divinity within and all of the teachings. Christ said it, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven was within. There's so many teachings that tell you it's in here. And then when you go in here, you realize that in here is out there, and it's just this massive expanse and contraction of everything. And but I think that's where, because, you know, during these last few months especially, I mean, they've locked people into their homes, quite literally. And so all you've had to do is kind of, you've either been fed from the media or you've tried to seek your other stuff. And And for some, they've gone, actually, no, I've had enough. And you've had to, I know I've had to just turn everything off and just be, just go outside, get outside, put my feet on the earth and connect with what for me is very real. There's no, you know, and right, you can go down that hole of what is real and what's not real. But I can feel the earth, the cold, wet earth beneath my feet. I can feel the sun on my face. And that's not only incredibly powerful for figuring out who you are, it's also one of the most powerful tools that you can do if you are in a panic attack and things like that on a very just a level. Just stop, breathe, connect to the physical earth and the power in that. And I think that that's something that, because you've actually spoken about so much, that can be quite a lot. Whoa, what's going on there? Whatever you have heard, just take your device outside and put your feet on the earth, connect with the earth, and then listen again. Do you know what I mean? And
definitely.
Bring it down. You know, the earth, we think of a day. I've only recently found this out because I participated in something at the weekend. But, you know, to me, a day was 24 hours. A day in the earth is 48, which actually doubles the amount of time that we have.
I like it.
Well, I didn't realise. I was like, I'm 57 and I'm only just, that realisation, that truth is only actually just being received by me, because it starts 12 hours before over in New Zealand somewhere over that way and ends 12 hours after in the Americas somewhere. Yes. So the earth has a 48-hour day. So just, it's your time. It's the most precious thing that we have. It's the only thing that we truly have is our time. So take it and just slow down and just be with it, because this time has been so overwhelming, so frightening, so full of fear of who's going to win the American election and who's not. And America has kind of become this, we are the world. I remember first hearing that after 9/11 when they were like, the world has been attacked. And I remember thinking, no, there's loads of bombs gone off loads of places before. The world hasn't been attacked. But America has kind of put itself as the world. And even giving Elon Musk the permission to put satellites around the entire globe. One government of one country has given one man, permission to do something around the entire globe. So there is this fear in that. And I think, like I said, I think the really crux of everything with all that's going on is get to know you. Go in, find your flow, because we're 90% water or 80% water. Find your flow, find what's where your dams are, find where your currents are flowing, and honor those, unblock what you need to unblock, block what you need to block, because you know dams do serve a purpose, and connect with the self. That's really, I think that's one of the things that I'm hearing from yourself and from others as well. And you listening to your authentic voice was very important for you.
Yeah, and even now, with all that's going on in the world, because like we've discussed, there is so much information of really complex and disturbing things that people who are leading us are doing, which we don't know. We cannot wholeheartedly say any of this is true. There's people's agendas who are pushing this from the opposition and lots of different things. And what I kind of just think is, that's not my game. That's not my war to fight. If I'm not in it, then I can't be affected by it. I am living my own truth. I am waking up in the morning and choosing to see what I'm doing today and all of that stuff. And I think because of lockdown, because of this kind of thing, we've been put into our house, stuck in front of these mobile devices, we have just been bulleted with all this information, and it's really going to have an effect on people, on their psyche, on their mindset, because we are being flooded with this information, with good information and really you know, disturbing information that probably isn't as true to the extent that it's been projected as. Do you know what I mean? Because it's been like, oh, this happened. And I think there is that hierarchical understanding of grounding that in the truth of the world. And I think that can be really difficult for people, especially people who aren't, how can I put this, already in tune with these kind of understandings or theories, conspiracy theories, whatever you want to call them. I think that can be really, really scary to wake up in lockdown and then be told this is happening. This is, oh, well, the government does this. Oh, the government's this. And, you know, that's like, whoa. What
you're upending people's worlds entirely. You know, you're literally pulling the fabric of society is being torn right now. And the things that are coming out, some I've said quite a few times, please prove me wrong. I'd actually like to be wrong, because it's horrendous otherwise.
Yes.
You know, so but I think that my concerns have been people's well-being throughout this, what they do, and I think it's and it's not the stuff that I'm hearing and learning about, it's what they're actually doing. I'm like, why are you doing this to people? Why is it being done in this way? There's not a psychologist on the planet, I don't think, who's worth their salt or who's honest, that would say that what is going on is for the benefit of the masses, that it is for the benefit of the people. Because yes, a few, you know, anyway, I digress and I don't want to, so I'm coming back to you. So what did this situation, because we've been in this situation now for 8 months, how did it impact on you in the beginning? Did it make you change lots of plans? Were you kind of upended, or did it just glitch and you were able to? Because some people have really thrived through this within their businesses and things. So in terms of the past, what happened? Did it interrupt a lot of things or not?
So I was actually really kind of wanting to homeschool my children, to be at home more, to not have that rat race mentality that really stumbles me when I'm trying to get things done and I'm in a trajectory, and then I have to go out and do this and that, and there's just so much stuff that I feels really unnecessary and that we have to get done in this world. It's probably really important stuff, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to do it. So for me, it was like, wow, a dream come true at first. And it was like, I get to have the children at home, I get to just be in that flow. Then everything started coming out, all of this, you know, things that, you know, I've known this for long. These theories have been out for years and years and years and years and years. We're having this attention to now of what we want, what steps, what path we want to go down. So I think everyone's kind of just trying to latch onto, well, what is my reality now? What has this, you know, lockdown, this opening, this thing mean to me? So then that was like freaking me out, and I was like, oh, what is going to happen in the world? You know, when you've watched that much stuff, you're kind of like, and it's really scary. So I think a lot of that at the beginning was really scary for me, and kind of knocked me back. And I was like, okay, I just want to go and live in a hut now. I don't want anyone to talk to me. I want to go, you know, go in a cave somewhere, and I don't ever want to see any other human ever again. This is too much. You know, that my Cancer kind of zodiac.
Oh, me too. Let me just go and put myself in my shower. I've had enough. Thank you very much. See you later.
Yeah, I was like, I've had enough. So I was really kind of in that confused state of, where do I want to go with my business? Where do I want to go with speaking my truth? You know, just opening up conversations. As I said, nobody knows the truth. It's just us. We're just leading each other back home to a truth, to an understanding. And without these conversations, we don't get to do that if we're censored so much, or within ourselves, if we don't know it's there to talk about.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, no. And then I keep going through these kind of patterns of, and my Scorpion rising, like my sting is like, no, come on, you're doing this. And it was just, I thrived a lot more. I moved house.
Oh, right.
I did lots of, you know, I manifested this beautiful place that I really wanted to be in, and lots of different things. And just, I think even when that's happening, I think your ability, your resistance to, you know, declining, our resilience, I think is such an important thing, and something that should be taught so much in schools and stuff, because I think resilience to change and adaptation is the most important power that you're going to be able to hone in on when these things happen, because the future is, you know,
Unknown and
it's not
uncertain.
predicted.
Yeah.
It's not predicted, you know,
Quite
in any time in history.
I just think it's quite interesting, because one of the things, skills or attributes that we give to children is their ability to cope with change. And along the way, for some reason, we actually do something to that ability, to that, because it is the only constant, and it is the thing that we need to teach our children, is resilience. Change is constant, and how you maneuver that, how you navigate that, but it's not being important. And it looks like anything's being suppressed right now. But so what's the future hold for Mommas Who Magic and for you?
Well,
What have you got planned?
So I am launching a lot of new kind of courses and mentoringships, because like I said, the only thing that I'm passionate about, I don't care anymore, not in a way I don't care, but I'm not in that game anymore of worrying about the government or worrying about like dark forces, or, you know, any which way that it wants to be projected at me. Like I've stepped out of that now, with the realization that I'm here to live this calling, which is to use my, as a Cancerian, my water magic into channeling the money as much as I can back into the hands of moms, and to teach them that, you know, just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't be a woman. You know, because you can't do that, you're a mom. And it was like, oh my God, I can't do anything anymore. Like, yeah. I just hide myself.
Once you become a mom, everything stops. Things do change. They absolutely change, but life does not end.
Yeah, and I think it's the narrative and that societal discourse that we've been culturally given, that mums should be this type of woman and mums should be that, and I think that really takes away the womanhood out of motherhood, and that connection to other mothers, other women, and the creatrix within us, within our cauldron, our womb space. I think, you know, that portal is so powerful. And I just want to teach women that it's there, and all the different things that I enjoy learning, like the chakras, goddess connections, alchemy. Oh, all of it just goes, yes, yes, yes. It makes me feel good. And
yeah. Yeah. So, Lindsey, how can people contact you? How can they get in touch? And I will post these details below the video.
So I'm on Instagram at Mommas Who Magic, and I will be putting my website up live, which will be Mommas Who Magic. Through a link through there. My email's on my Instagram. It's basically just that. I don't really use Facebook. I don't like it. So I just go for the things that I like to use. It's a really powerful tool for other people, but that's just me. Mommas Who Magic, website, Instagram. So I'll be there doing my thing.
I've got one more question for you. What truth would you like to share?
That the most powerful magic is usually found in your darkest times, and that when you find the darkness, if you can reach the most darkest times, that enables you to then match it on the most lightest of our light, basically. And it's such a powerful understanding of when we have that shadow times and we have these really dark times in our life, that is propelling you for something on the opposite that is going to absolutely be magical.
Thank you so much, Lindsey. Thank you. You just hold on 1 second. So thank you to Lindsey, Mommas Who Magic, for joining me in Speak Your Truth Conversations. Thank you to you for watching. If you'd like to connect with Lindsey, the information is below. If you'd like to connect with myself, the information is below. Please like, share and subscribe. Be blessed, be careful, be good. Bye. Let's just stop that.